Okay, one serious question. If no one minds, I'll take. So, Anirudh Basu is asking, where is AVI standing in with the legalities? Any active cases going on against this ordinance? So, when the bill was passed in Parliament, we had the idea of going to Supreme Court and challenging it from a consumer front, for which we raised funds, for which we, I don't know, I think about 3-4 lakhs we raised. And what we did, so that was woefully inadequate to file a Supreme Court case. These cases cost lakhs if you're going to get a decent lawyer to argue your case. So, given that situation, what we thought what we'll do is we'll approach some top lawyers and ask them to take our case up pro bono, which means without charge. When they say it's without charge, what it means is they will not charge their professional fees, but you still have to pay for their staff and their travel. So it's still a cost, but it is something that we could have managed. Not with that money, we would have to still raise some more funds, but it's something that we could look at. Now, the opinion we got from them at that time, and these are top lawyers, is that don't go to Supreme Court at the moment, because the way the mood has been built up, or the way the state has acted so aggressively against vaping, it is unlikely that you'll be heard at this stage. And that somehow was borne true when one vendor approached Supreme Court and the court said, you go to Delhi High Court and present your matter there. So we said, okay, we'll hold on to this. What we can do is still look at carve-outs for vapers, because since consumption is not bad, it could be a good question to ask the courts is, okay, if consumption is not bad, how do vapers get their devices or the liquid? So why not create a mechanism by which they can, or adult vapers can access the devices and liquids? That was the idea till this whole flight ban came into the picture. So we have filed a case in Bangalore High Court challenging this flight ban. There are two petitioners and we thank them. There is one and there is one who may join later. And it is a strong case. I mean, the logic is simply this, that consumption is not banned, then how are you penalizing people who are carrying it for consumption? Now, you want to ban trade, you ban trade. You say that no commercial shipment of any vape devices or liquids will be allowed through Indian airports or aircraft. That's fair and fine. But when you start going after consumers, then you're in a way violating what the government itself has very clearly said.
The intent of the legislation is not to criminalize citizens who are themselves the sufferers at the hands of such products. The intent of the legislation is to ban any kind of trade in e-cigarettes in the interest of public health. The existing bona fide users, as on the date of ordinance, needed to be given protection from prosecution. Monitoring use is difficult to enforce and may lead to infringement of civil liberties.
Second issue is BGCA can ban certain objects which are risky on flight. For example, scissors, you're allowed to use it, but you're just not allowed to carry them. And the reasoning for that is because it can be dangerous on flight. Now, electronic cigarettes, if you say, oh no, the battery can explode, but then that is true for so many battery devices that you're allowing anyway. And across the world, these devices are allowed. So it's not like there's a huge precedent of vape devices being banned on flights. So even that logic doesn't hold. And it's not that they've even put forward that logic, saying that no, ban because it's risky for flights. So these are the two main arguments. There's some ancillary arguments also. It was going to come up for hearing, but because of COVID, everything has got delayed. Courts are shut, but it will definitely come up for hearing. So that's the legal situation as of now. One of the reasons why I think there has been a flight ban, the government said consumption is not banned. Then they started going after air travelers, even though consumption is not banned. I think one of the reasons was that despite that hasty ordinance, they didn't even wait for Parliament to clear it, and they brought in an ordinance. And the whole idea was to show the urgency. Bacche mar rahe hain. So they said, okay, let's now go after vapers. So I would expect or request everyone to be careful and not overstep law in ways that risk your safety and that of others around you. See, whatever you do, don't break the law. It was said in Parliament, vaping is killing children. That's the kind of emotive argument that was used against vaping. So, it will be a while before things get better, in my view at least.